humility, peace, and discipline. I gotta pray 5 times a day, brother. Mandatory. I have enough testosterone for everyone watching this podcast.
Water Buffalo TM is back with another Buff Talk.
3, 2, 1. Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Old School Matt here. We're back with another Buff Talk, and today we're joined by a rejoining guest, Ameer Danglebeen, aka the Danglebeen Group, aka Mr. Recreate himself. Without further ado, before we get into the topic of the podcast today, which will be the red pill and Islam, specifically, how you been, Ameer?
All is well, brother. How about yourself?
I've been pretty good. Continuing the grind as you see it on a daily basis with the business, school, work. And I just wanted to get with you today to get on a podcast to talk about a couple different things. And first, I really wanted to ask you, why'd you convert?
Brother, before I even start talking, I just want to say, Bismillah, that means in the name of God. So we're doing this in the name of God. Why I reverted or converted? Well, I guess you can say it all started with a date.
You went on a date?
No, not a date, but a date. Like
a fruit?
Yeah, a fruit. So I was working, like in February, I was working with a gentleman, my brother by the name of Ali. Shout out to Ali. And, he would always come into the job site a little sleepy. He would always come in he worked like 70, 80 hours. He was a hard worker.
Where were you working?
I was working in Coral Springs at a vaccination center.
Oh, really?
We could get in that a little bit later.
Yeah, I definitely was going to ask that.
But, yeah, he would always come in. He was a nurse, and
Okay.
I was an admin, and I would help him out. And he would always come in a little tired. And I said, one day he was coming in really tired, looking really, really sleepy. And I said, Ali, why are you so tired? And he's like, I'm fasting for Ramadan.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so he explained to me how you fast from sun up to sundown, and you break your fast with a date. And the next day, he promised, hey, Ameer, I'm going to bring you some dates. And the next day he remembered, he brought me some dates. And, man, dates are amazing, man. I felt like a king that day. I had me some quality fruit, and so a fig or whatever you call it. So, I always had a respect for Islam. Malcolm X, Muhammad Ali, these men in the black community, Caribbean, whatever you want to call it, in my community. Plus, I had a Muslim neighborhood. I have people in my neighborhood. They're from Bangladesh and they were Muslim. Okay. So I went to school with a boy, and he was always, he would give me, assalamu alaikum, little knowledge that I could take home with me. He invited me to the mosque one time, but I didn't really go because I understood like Christianity in my household was
definitely.
So with that, I was curious. I was like, maybe Ali, you should take me to the mosque, and he was like, bet. We stopped. He doesn't take me to the mosque during the rest of the time we're working together, but we continue to stay in contact via social media. So probably it was August. I reached out to him, like, Ali, after we stopped working together. I'm like, bro, what happened? I thought you was gonna take me to the mosque. He was like, bet. He takes me to the mosque, and I go on Friday, which is our church day in Islam, which is called Juma. Where,
like Sundays for Christians?
Yeah, basically. So we made it a little. We were late for the hupta, which is the hutbah, which is like the sermon in Islam, or the teaching, the lecture. So, but we made it for the prayer. I walk in. Well, but first thing before I even walked in, first thing I noticed is you had to take your shoes off. I had to take my shoes off because the mosque, the masjid is holy. This is where we praise God. So take your shoes off. I walk in and I hear the call to prayer going on. And then first thing I noticed, there's a lot of men. I was like, whoa, there's a lot of, it's a lot of men. It's just men. We're going on the men's side. I see the men in the joba and wearing the kufi. So I come and I hear the call to prayer, and I ain't going to even front with you. I'm a little uncomfortable at first. I'm not going to sit there and lie. The prejudice that the media has given me throughout my 22 years on life, based on how they the American media has, or media in general, just represented Islam in a negative way, that prejudice came to me. But when that prejudice first came, I recognized it right then and there. I'm like, look what's going on. I'm being a little prejudiced. And then I recognized it right then and there. So we went and sit down. There's no chairs. You sit on the ground on the mat, and we begin to pray. And during prayer, what occurs during prayer is the imam or the sheikh, which is the leader, the teacher. He would do what is called surah recitation. Surahs are verses in the Quran that are prayers, and they will recite these surahs, and it's beautiful. So the first thing that happened to me was, man, it was a sudden peace that came upon me that I haven't felt in a while in the last 2.5 years of me doing my own thing as far as practicing Ameer's religion, which was nothing. So I got peace. I felt, me looking around, I felt like, man, it's deep, man. It's like, it's a lot of men that's beautiful, because in Christianity, you see a lot of men leaving the church because, Christianity in America is kind of losing its structure. America is becoming more secular, and it's in that day by day. But yeah, so I went again. Second time I went to Juma. I had to sit down with my mentor, my now mentor, which his name is Kazi, and he was just telling me all the good things that come in Islam. And I was still a little skeptical then, but I guess you can say I didn't. The third time I went, which wasn't the next week, but the week after, I decided, I'm gonna make this. I'm gonna go forward with this lifestyle and this religion and accept Islam. And what occurred, the three things that I realized, I was like, I miss God. I miss practicing something. Ameer can't do this by himself. Who am I? I'm just a man. Like, me doing it my way. One day I'm gonna feel like doing it. One day I'm not gonna do it. I don't have no actual structure. So first I recognized that Islam was gonna give me structure. Second, what am I gonna give to my kids? I'm just gonna allow them to be part of this secular world. What happens when times?
When you say secular, what do you mean by secular?
Meaning that there's no God. Meaning this, like, we don't have a higher power that we praise, worship. In some countries, religion is ingrained in the culture. In America, religion is not ingrained in the culture anymore. Now it's about how I feel, what I want to do. I feel like I'm a boy the next day. Like I'm.
So your beliefs, I would say conservative beliefs have definitely increased a lot. When I say conservative, I mean like nothing to do with Republican versus Democrat, but more like you're more reserved now that you're Islamic.
Now that I'm Muslim, yeah, Muslim. I'm in our culture. Yes, you're a lot more conservative.
Because remember we talked about on the last time we talked together. I remember you said I'm not worried about a girl's past. Remember you said I wasn't too worried. You said I recall you saying something about if it's in the past, in the past. Do you still feel the same way in terms of that type of I guess forgiveness?
I'm not sure if I said that. Maybe I got to take a look at that podcast again. But if I did say that,
it was something similar. I'm not trying to like call you out or anything, but I remember.
If am I worried about a girl's past now?
Yeah.
As far as in my faith, I don't. I'm gonna state this, and then we're gonna go back to what I was saying. Yeah. But I understand how we still live in the West, even though I'm in Islam. We still live in the West, and all respect to my sisters, there are some sisters that continue on in the West. I preferably want to marry a woman who is Muslim, but I understand that, hey, some sisters, they stray away from the deen, from their faith, and they might want to have a little fun, and that's their business. But if I meet you where you're at now, and if you're practicing and you're conservative and you're wearing the hijab and conducting yourself in a respectable manner, if your past is not crazy, then I would be willing to work with it. But I'm not. See, even though I'm conservative, I'm not naive and stupid. Like, things 100%. Happen. That's the game. Right. Yeah. You feel me? So yeah, that's how I look at it now. But I preferably want a woman that is clean, but inshallah, and if God will, whatever God wills for me. But back to the...
And real quick, the only reason why I asked that is because when you talk about Christianity to be divided in the United States and everything just being kind of like a cluster, and also for the kind of loss of structure in the USA, I think that the one thing that I do, the biggest thing that I agree with in terms of the Muslim or Islamic religion, what do you reference? Is Islam or Muslim the same thing?
Islam basically means the complete submission to God. That's all Islam is in Arabic. The complete submission to God. A Muslim person is somebody in the complete submission to God.
Okay.
So yeah,
understood.
Yeah.
Anyways, so the one thing I do respect, and probably the most respectful thing that I can agree with and kind of go with in that religion, is the structure and the how it's embedded in people's culture overseas.
Yeah.
And how it's not forgotten.
Yeah.
Whether I know, I know in other countries, Christianity, Catholicism, and even Judaism and other religions are also very serious. But from my understanding, I see the least amount of deviations and strays from the ties in that religion, the Muslim religion, than I do any other religion in the world.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I see Christianity and Catholicism as a joke, to be completely honest with you. And I'm a practicing Catholic Christian. I see it as a joke. I see the way that they portray the religion as a joke. And I might be ignorant in my delivery and the way I'm saying it, but the one thing I do respect the most out of the Muslim community is the fact that you guys take it very seriously.
Yeah.
And that it's a part of your life. I just wanted to put that in there, but continue on what you were saying.
So yeah, the second thing was, what am I going to give to my kids? Like I said, I don't think they can lean on me, and I'm just a man. They can't really lean on me for help. They need God, Allah. And third, I wanted to be part of a community. Ameer was by himself doing nothing. He wasn't part of a community. He wasn't part of a team. And I wanted to be part of a community where I knew I would have the support. I would have people who love me. There would be people who would keep me in check. There were, so all these things, all the things that come with a community. So those were the three things that I realized that I was going to get from Islam before I decided to revert. And I realized that it's going to be work. I got a lot of things to learn. It's going to be a whole 180 as far as how I was practicing my life. And it's going to force me to get uncomfortable and rewire my brain, what I've been doing for the last 22 years of my life. I was born with the name Ameer Saeed, but I was fortunate enough to get Arabic name, but I was raised in a Christianity foundation household for 22 years of my life, 21 years of my life. So I understand I had to put in the work, and I was willing to do it. And my mentor Kazi said good things were going to come in my life when I accepted Islam. And man, it's only been up from here.
Nice.
Yeah, for real.
Good work.
Yeah.
I like to see it. And that's something that I like about Ameer a lot, is that he has a very open mind when it comes to things. And you've always had an open mind. It's really cool to see somebody be able to sort of do a 180 and learn about something like that.
Yeah.
Very interesting. What's the most what's something that people misconstrue about Islam? Something that people
it's the biggest one, that terrorism and Islam as far as how it's marketing, go hand in hand as far as how the media worldwide markets it. I learned the other day in a class I was learning, a Sharia class. All Sharia means is law. Mm-hmm. It was explaining that in America, Islamophobia, $300 million is spent on Islamophobia in America. So American media, American companies, or we're just going to focus on America because this is our beloved country, has done a lot to demonize Islam and a group of people who are the most peaceful and loving people. But we've taken the 0.01% of bad human beings or ignorant human beings who've done horrible things, not only to Americans but to their own people.
Yeah.
And we've marketed that as Islam as a whole. So that saddened me, and I knew this growing up. That's why I always had the respect for Islam, because I understand that American media can market something and make it. The media can perception is power, facts. So whatever agenda the American government or American media or American companies had, they demonized Islam, and you grow hate with the people around it. And we view people who wear thobes or, grow out a beard as evil beings because of what's been portrayed.
This is a really interesting question because you're African American and you're now a practicing Muslim. Who do you think receives more prejudice in the United States? African Americans or?
Well, I'm Caribbean. Same.
I'm
same.
Apologies.
Yeah, it's
Black American. I didn't want to say Black American.
Yeah.
I say that on camera, then they deem me as a racist.
Yeah. I'm Black, but I'm Jamaican and Dominican. But besides that, me, I haven't being Black. I haven't in America. I guess I've been very privileged, but I haven't experienced much prejudice. None whatsoever, really.
You think you're the only one you think you're the only one in the population that hasn't experienced any prejudice?
No, I think there's a lot. It depends where you're located, or what community you've been raised in. It's all.
Or you think it's more perception or about what you just said?
I think it. When you say perception, could you explain?
So like situational.
Yeah, I think it's situational. If we're like in an ignorant environment where people look at people of a darker hue as lesser than, then you can expect that. And you could probably expect that more in southern regions. But South Florida is basically New York in its whole, and it's very diverse, But brother, my mentor Kazi, this guy, he's dealt with, like, he won't act like it's not trauma, but he's dealt with some trauma as far as imagine going to high school. I ain't gonna name the high school. It's a local high school. I don't know if I could get sued over this, so I ain't gonna say it. But imagine going to high school and, people making jokes about, oh, I'm gonna blow up, or things of that nature every day, or oh, you're gonna blow up the school this day. Yeah. Imagine getting that every day. He told me he had to deal with that on a weekly basis during his high school experience.
How old is he?
He's 26 now, so he's not that far from I think he graduated high school in 2015. But imagine having to go through that, man. I never.
Yeah, as a, because we talked about this before, like, and a lot of, not a lot, but Hispanics also claim that they get like prejudice and bias towards them. I've never experienced it.
Yeah,
and I'm not trying to say that I'm fully Hispanic. I don't know if I look Hispanic or not, but I've never experienced any prejudice or racism or any of that. Whatever people want to say.
I don't mean to cut you off, but respectfully, bro, Black people in America, I don't, we run the culture, bro.
Yeah,
your kids, your mother and father, their kid listen to hip hop. Mm-hmm. Your kids are going to be dressing the way my kids will be dressing. Like we run the culture. It's just
that's true.
We gotta find a way to get the money out of the culture. But that's another story. But yeah, every little white boy in Lighthouse Point or Palm Beach is listening to whoever the most popular rapper, or
that's true,
trying to dress like, so. Bro, I'm good. But as far as what Kazi told me, as far as the trauma he had to deal with, man, that's crazy. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. But he's humble and he's like, it is what it is. I'm still here. And Allah is on my side. God's on my side. So, yeah, that's how he looked at it.
Interesting. So you would say it's probably a little bit, in your experience, it's a little bit worse for the Muslim community.
Yeah.
I think after 2001, what happened in 9/11 is what like spiked that off. I don't think that ever really happened before. I'm not too sure. I can't speak for before then, but I had to talk to somebody else who talked about that.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. And I didn't know if I wanted to do this. I'm gonna make it quick.
Yeah.
But as far as the perception game, and look, I love American heroes. I love this country. I'm proud. Becoming Muslim has made me even more patriotic because
he's the most patriotic person I know.
And what country can I just see? If you try to switch a religion in another country, it's probably not the best thing to do. But here I could just do it and I'm cool. Ain't nothing gonna happen to me. So that just showed the beauty of America like that. But let's get back to the perception game. Look, Osama bin Laden, he did what he did and it was horrible. Yes. That's horrible. Okay, we're going to put that aside. Now, let's look at some of our American heroes or people who or our sovereignty in itself. America does a lot of bad things, but we charge it to the game because it's our country. We sometimes forget about that little boy in the Middle East or in Africa or wherever sometimes our country does its dirt, and that mother and father who lose their child, or a whole community who lose their children off of us doing stupid stuff with our bombs or drones. But we don't think about that because we're disconnected from those people. It's like we got our team and it's Team America. I'm on Team America, but I'm not naive, and I understand that there's a gray area in life. So look, we just made an enemy right there, killing that little boy or that group of people.
They did it the other day in Afghanistan when they thought they were going to kill. Do you remember that?
No,
they killed a car's worth of people. They're thinking there was like an enemy with a drone strike.
Yeah. You just made an enemy right there. And then look, now you got a little boy who lost a parent, and now he hates America. That's the only perception he's got of America. He's like that white lady who clutches her purse when I walk by because all she's seen on the media was a black man robs Karen again, So that's just a game. Look, respect to George Washington, but George Washington killed a lot of Native Americans. That was terrorism to those people.
Yeah,
even though he built a sovereignty, a beautiful country, it's all about how perception works. Never forget that. Don't be so ignorant. Don't be so ignorant.
I was gonna ask you. This is like kind of like a side question, but why not shave the beard? What's the logic?
Oh, why? So in the Quran, I can't quote I don't know if it's in the Hadith or the Quran, but I know we're told to men must not shave the beard because I don't know the reason. I don't remember. I'm not gonna even get into it. But I know it's something, and it's my ignorance.
It's a thing though, right?
It's a thing. Okay. Some people in Islam don't practice it, but it's mandatory that you grow your beard. But some men don't do it. If possible, to grow your beard out.
Your beard's thick, bro.
Yeah, I inshallah, let's see what it gets to in a year, man.
Yeah, that's what 2. You said 2 months you started growing out.
Not even 2 months. Probably like 5 months, 4 months.
Okay.
Yeah, so I ain't know it could get like this in 4 months, man. I lost my hair, but I got a beard, so I've been blessed.
You shave it though on purpose, right?
Yeah, because I knew I was gonna go bald, so I didn't want y'all to catch me with the George Jefferson or whatever.
The high of the hairline?
Yeah, I saw it going. I said, oh, it's about to go, so I just shaved it off before I let people
start making fun of you for it.
Yeah, it was gonna happen sooner or later.
I want to shave the head, bro. I think I'm gonna do it for the new year.
Grow the beard out?
Yeah, shave the head.
We'll see,
I like
brother.
it. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna look. I mean, compared to the Chads out there, I don't think I'll look good. But for myself, the way I think you look clean with the shaved head. To be honest,
yeah, man,
makes you look more like a man. But
yeah.
So let's relate Islam and the Muslim religion to the red pill.
Oh, talk to me.
You know the red pill community. Yeah, I'm obviously a little bit introduced in part of it. What's their perspective? And listen, this is what's funny. A lot of people, and I'm targeting a specific population when I talk about this. A lot of people are very accepting of the Islamic faith, which I am. I've ever not even before you converted over. I've always have been very respecting towards them. I've always understood that the media perception and all that stuff it just is what it is. Yeah, it's the light. But one group of people in this country accept the Islam religion, but forget or they push away the very misogynistic nature of the Islamic religion. And when I say misogynistic, I mean in terms of society. What are the beliefs? What are the thoughts on husband and wife and acting and respect and all that stuff?
Okay.
Can you lay it out?
So let's first start with the men. As far as overtly sexualizing ourselves, as far as in American times. In Islam, men, we're not supposed to show from the navel to the knees. So I had to
pants.
So I had to do, get my wardrobe right. Get rid of some shorts. And as far as women, they're supposed to be covered. Head to toe.
Men can wear shirts.
Men can wear
shirts, not long sleeve.
They can wear. Yeah, we can wear a shirt.
You can show.
Yeah,
okay.
It's just the navel. That's what. And women,
the whole entire.
Yeah. It's recommended that you wear the niqab, which is you only see the eyes, but culturally, and depending on where what country you're in, you see women, they show their face, but modesty is heavily purported, and it makes sense. Dude, you already see your girl, she'll, excuse my language, but your girl, she'll dress out looking nice for the world, but at home she'll wear pajamas.
Sure, it's like shit. Yeah. Thankfully, not my girlfriend, but I understand what you're saying.
So, in Islam, our woman, she's covered. You know, I can't.
She's covered for the world, but at home, she's allowed to.
Yeah, and in the four squares of your bedroom, you do whatever you want as far as what's permissible under Islam with your wife. You know, it's free for all. That's your wife. That's your wife. You guys are lovers. You know, but as far as respect, yeah, sometimes we get culture and Islam confused. Islam practiced in America or Islam practiced in Nigeria or Afghanistan is different, because you got to remember, the religion is the religion, but the culture pre the religion still has some influence on the people.
Just like Christianity.
Yeah. So yeah. What else do you have to?
No, I was just curious in terms of like maybe what's their views on pornography.
That's haram. That's not haram and halal. Yeah, haram is not permissible in Arabic, and halal is permissible.
Halal is what they say. Halal food.
A permissible food. Yeah.
The best food is in my opinion, Middle Eastern food or Middle Eastern style food is my favorite. Like any kebab or Mediterranean type of food. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's.
I mean, any culture, halal can be in any culture. It's just, you know.
But most places that talk about
halal is Middle Eastern influence. Yeah, but you know, it's so funny that something I was ignorant to, that Arabs only make up 20% of Islam. The highest majority are Indians.
Yeah.
Yeah, the highest majority. I don't have
the
statistics, but you can search that up yourself. That
of course, Bangladesh and Pakistan. Well, is Pakistan Indian? I think so.
No, these are different countries, but they go under the terminology Desi people, you know, that's the region. India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. Shout out to all my Desi brethren. Respect. Oh. But yeah, man. Yeah, it's big respect, and as far as
so no, wait, I don't want to cut you off, Alicia. No pornography.
No, yeah,
no masturbation.
No, bro. No, not at all. It's not good. And I'm gonna be real with you. Most men, including me, we have to work on that. Mm-hmm. It's hard. It's hard, bro. I'm a male, a pretty big male who exercises, full of testosterone. I have enough testosterone for everyone watching this podcast, respectfully. And, you know, we're in a very over-sexualized world. So men...
Now, is it,
go ahead.
I'm gonna challenge you. We're in an over-sexualized world, but it has nothing to do with you not being able to control yourself, right?
Yeah, you got to control yourself, but, you know, sometimes you eat the donut.
Yeah.
Sometimes you eat the donut when you know you're supposed to be eating spinach, quinoa, and a steak.
Yeah.
A halal steak.
Halal steak.
Preferably.
Oh, God. You can't eat at my house anymore. I don't know if my food's halal.
Nah, you can get some fish. Get some nice
fish. It doesn't matter how fish is killed.
Yeah, fish. Nice, some good Peruvian fish. I know Peruvians, they get the fish. They know your mama probably.
And the reason why I told you let's go get something to eat is because there's a fucking Middle Eastern place right here. But anyways, getting back to the topic. So no pornography, no masturbation.
Yeah.
Sex before marriage?
No, that's haram too.
Okay. Men and women or just women?
Men and women.
Okay.
Like, no, women, see, one thing we get mixed up is that men and women are equal. We're just different. That's it.
That's true.
We're just different. A woman, she has the same financial rights. You don't want to see some inequality in Islam. My money's her money, but her money's her. My money's her money. Her money is her money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that ain't equal, bro. But you know, hey, that's just a game, and that's what I follow. And it's respect. It's respect, man. Sometimes, you know, the American culture might look at the women in our faith and our deen, our sisters, and might be like, oh, they're so oppressed. Do you understand what I would do for that sister? I would die for that sister. Mm-hmm. Like in Islam, our women are our queens. Like that's why it's big that we make sure that
and the simp culture in Islam doesn't exist because The only reason why simp culture exists in the US is because women take advantage of men that act a certain way. They act very caring, act loving, give gifts.
Yeah.
The only reason why it exists is because women take advantage of men. I do believe men should act in that sense, but just not with that type of woman, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like people think that like paying for your girlfriend's dinner or working while she stays at home, takes care of the children, or doing XYZ, bringing her this, bringing her that, is being a simp. I would agree if the woman doesn't appreciate you and if the woman disrespects you. But if the woman respects you, I see no problem in doing any of that stuff.
You want to hear something I heard? I was actually with a classmate of mine, and he's a Marine. Shout out to the Marines, hoorah. He was basically, because we were having a discussion about the baitetization of American men. Mm-hmm. And I was going on a whole rant in class. Everybody,
this is pre-Muslim.
No, this is during Islam, brother. Come on, man. Yeah. So my classmate was basically stating, as I was going on my rant after, he basically told me that you know what's wrong with American civilization right now as far as how our men are conducting themselves. Men see beta. It's not really beta. It was respect and honor and putting a woman on a pedestal, because at that time before instant access for women, being respectful and being like honoring a woman was permissible and accepting it was the right thing to do. But see, the thing is, we're trying to give women honor without them having respect for us.
Exactly.
See, a woman doesn't value a man's attention anymore because it comes just like that.
From anybody, too.
And another thing, there's no consequences for women.
Mm-hmm. What are the consequences for women in Islam, the Muslim religion?
Culturally, I'll say it's hard for a woman to get remarried. This is culture. A woman in Islam can divorce her husband, but as far as our cultures in Islam, men, it's hard for a woman to get remarried.
So if a woman were to cheat on her wife or her husband,
that kind of stains her.
She would be blacklisted pretty much.
And that's the culture. That's
fine.
Islam.
I don't care. I believe. I mean, I there's two parts of me. There's a part of me that believes that all humans are imperfect because we are.
Yeah,
and we have our flaws and we should forgive. Mm-hmm. But there's a stronger part of me nowadays that says things like cheating are impermissible, and that's a offense that never deems forgiveness in the sense that I will be back with that person, sort of thing. You know what I mean? I'll forgive you.
Yeah,
it's okay. We can live our life, but I'm not going to stay with you.
Yeah.
And so what you're saying basically in the
culture around Islam,
because in the Christian religion and Catholicism, if we're married and you cheat on me, it's not like when you go back to the church, people will still shake your hand and smile as if you were a perfect person.
Yeah.
If a wife were to cheat on her husband and show up to the mosque, her reception would be different.
Yes, it would. It's a sad thing, but word spreads like a wildfire.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm not saying that people should be shamed and deemed that they're unable to make up for their mistakes. But things like that is something that I do I really respect out of that culture, because it seems like the marriage and the household in the Christian faith and the Catholic faith nowadays it doesn't exist anymore. You go to a Christian church and 90% of the people in there are divorced.
Yeah. And to my brothers and sisters who watch this, correct me if I'm wrong behind the scenes. Let me know where I might have missed or if I didn't say anything correctly. But back to what I was saying about the Marine guy. He was basically saying men and women today in like America, secular America, the women, they don't have any consequences for their bad behavior.
Yeah.
There's no consequence. So we're trying to give love. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, well, there is consequences, but they're positive consequences, or they're good things. Their bad behavior deems them more money, deems them more fame, deems them more love from other men.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who gets the most love on social media? The innocent girl who's a virgin, or the girl posting a video of her eating a banana with her boobs hanging out like she's about to do a porno? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Who gets the attention?
Yeah. But I don't blame women for the way they conduct
Neither
themselves.
do I.
No.
I blame
the men.
Well, I blame both, but I blame the men more.
I mainly blame the men, because the men, respectfully, and this is the truth, because we're equal, but we're different. Men, we're stronger, and we lead society. If you don't disagree, you could talk to me
that's a
behind
good
the
point.
scenes.
That's a good
You
point.
talk to me behind the scenes. respectfully. But
That's a good point. A lot of red pill, and this is why I'm not 100% red pill in terms of like the way the community shapes some things, is because we talk about men need to lead, men need to lead, men need to lead. Blank these girls, they're putting their. I've been doing a pretty good job, bro. I haven't cursed at all.
You did one before. I ain't call you out.
You didn't call me. Forget these girls, forget this and that. But men need to lead, but they don't want to lead. The men, they still want to watch pornography. They still want to masturbate. They still want to have sex with many women on many different occasions.
Yeah.
I agree. I think men and women are, while you say that the men are more responsible, I think it's 50-50. But if we look at economics, if there's no buyers for a certain product, is a product going to exist anymore?
Yeah.
No, it'll cease to exist.
Yeah.
The men are the buyers. The women are the product. The women are the ones giving the service of OnlyFans, pornography, Instagram, whatever glorification. And the men are the buyers. It doesn't work the opposite way around. The demand impacts the supply.
Yeah.
The supply does not necessarily impact the demand. I know people that watch economics, yes, it does in graphs and shit, but logically it does not.
Yeah. But like I was saying, men, we're the leaders, and we give whatever power women have in the United States, respectfully. Whatever power they have, we give them. We allow them to have that because we are the stronger sex.
Yes.
Okay? We respect our women. We die for the women. But at the end of the day, we are the stronger sex. So whatever power they have in the U.S. as far as the right to vote, the right to conduct themselves and over-sexualize is because men allows it. And the government, which could come in your house and take whatever it wants, there's no consequence. They say we cannot make sure that there are certain, we can't conduct ourselves in a certain way with our women. That's why, so society, women.
What do you mean by like discipline?
No. Well, when I say, meaning like, I'm not talking about physical harm, but the women are protected by the government. So there's no fear for men anymore. Back in the day, there was a certain fear, like honor between men, meaning that if I conducted myself in a way, or if I did something disgraceful with your daughter, I could die. Yeah. You take death away out of violence. Violence is the purest form of communication. And this is what my classmate was trying to communicate. There's no consequences anymore. Because there's no violence between men anymore, that's why women act the way they want. Because men, now we're scared of the government. But before, like, oh, if I did something disgraceful to your daughter, I knew the father, he could kill me.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
So when you have the government saying there's no violence between men anymore, now the government's protect. You take that out of the equation. Now it's a free for all. You do what you want. So you're taking honor out of the equation. That's why. Oh, you in back in the day, probably even the 62 and before that, you bump a man, you could die over that.
Or you say you're sorry.
You say you're sorry, but now you bump a man, it is what it is.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You looked over there. No, I'm saying like, no, nowadays you bump into a guy. I mean, if I bump into a dude, let's talk about this scenario. I bump into a dude and I am sorry. I'm going to say I'm sorry. If I bump into somebody and I didn't know that I bumped into them, they look at me a certain way, I take the judgment. If I'm in the wrong, I'd rather just say, hey man, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There's no reason for me to, you want to fight me? You want to like?
But do you get what I'm trying to say? The government has.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're trying to say. If someone molests your daughter, you can't take it into your own hands.
Yeah, you can't take it in your own hands.
The guy's gonna walk in 2 years.
So you take honor out of the situation. What was back in like man on man communication.
Well, you talk about the government. I don't mean to cut you off. The government in the same way.
Yeah,
you take it. The government has responsibility and has a stake in marriage nowadays. Mm-hmm. Who wins? The wife always wins in divorce court in the U.S. Mm-hmm. So like, there's no consequences for that. Yeah. There's literally no consequences for women in a marriage. There's no consequences for women to act the way that they're acting in society because we're acting like it's the norm. Yeah. And we're allowing it. Yeah. And when I say we're allowing it, it's not like men are like, these gonna hit people and like lay down the law. So we're allowing it because we're just letting it happen. It's just free country, right? Everything's free. Everything.
There's no fear anymore.
Yeah.
There's no
and like I said, it doesn't have anything to do with physical. Like if you cheat on your husband, you're deemed as like good for you. You stood up to him, And another thing I heard on a
Live your
video.
best life, sis.
Yeah, exactly.
Hot girl summer, sis. Excuse my language.
And another thing is like nowadays when you hear, why did you cheat? Because he was not giving me attention. He was not there for me. They never take the responsibility on themselves. I'm not just saying women, men too. I mean, I don't know if men make these same excuses, but I've heard this from many women, personally myself as well. I've heard this in my own relationships, not the one I'm in now, but in the past. I was not getting what I needed. I did not get to excuse their bad efforts in the same way of, why are you doing OnlyFans? Why are you doing this way? Because taking the blame and putting it on somebody else and not, internalizing it and make it your own.
Yeah.
Victim. There's everything we've talked about, me and him, even on his old content stuff, is like the same circle. It's just now it's like we're laying it out on the table and connecting it to a religion, which is great.
Yeah.
Anyone out there watching this and interested in learning about more should definitely do so. I agree.
Yeah. But take your time.
Where else were we going with that?
Well, as far as just the conduct of men. Men have to take a look at themselves and realize. See, the thing is, the game's change. That's why the red pill is so attractive. Me myself, I take bits and pieces out of red pill, but I believe 95% of the men watching red pill
are losers.
are just gonna end up hating women. Only that 5% are gonna actually take what's needed, apply it to their lives, and be a better version of themselves. I think the majority are just gonna end up giving up, and hating women.
It's kind of hard not to give up though, because if you look at I'm not saying for myself, I don't think I'll ever give up. I know there's many countries to go explore.
Yeah.
But it's hard for men that don't have a strong mindset, because they get into
physical attributes.
Exactly.
That make it easy.
Yeah. They get into a cycle where they're like, relationship, cheated on, relationship, child, relationship, the girl has a child, relationship, I don't know, issues with her health or something. There's always something, I feel like, for men, and that's why you said the red pill is so attractive. I agree.
Yeah.
But it feels like every relationship that I've seen from people that are coming to the page that I do, Red Pill Latinos, is like, problems come from women. But then again, like you said, society's led by men.
Yeah.
And as a man, you need to change the things in your life so you don't have to deal with those things. So it's a yin and yang.
We're forgetting to tell men they gotta lead. Like, no, I think we are. Like, you gotta, like, I realized it as I've evolved as a man, not only from the red pill knowledge that I've acquired, but from Islam, that I'm supposed to lead. Like, I feel like myself, I've been like catified, if you know what I mean. Catified. Like, I'm realizing, like, man, they trying to turn me to a woman.
Yeah.
To think like a woman. No.
Yeah.
You need to be a conqueror. You need to be vicious. You need to be a man. You need to lead. You got to be ready to.
I've seen it. I've seen it in you, because your transformation's incredible, bro.
Day by day. That's all I can say.
It starts with the physical.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. What does that mean?
All praise to God, brother.
Yeah, it starts with the physical though, like you said.
Yeah.
A lot of men don't want to physically evolve. They want to stay small. They want to stay. And is that something in the Islamic community that people like, they work out? Because a lot of people that I know that are from the Middle East are in pretty good shape. And bodybuilding is huge over there. I don't know if you knew that. But Mr. Olympia's
Muslim?
Big Ramy, he's Muslim.
Mashallah.
The top three is two of them are.
I think
Muslim.
it depends on the location. It depends on what demographics. A certain group, like the guys, I go to certain mosques, in Coral Springs, Margate area, and it's right by American Top Team.
Oh, they're yeah.
And you know who comes to my mosque? Them Russian boys, those Khabib type boys.
Yeah.
Like, they come in walking stiff neck, looking mean.
Yeah,
Mashallah to my brothers, but those guys, they're different. Those are men. Like, those Russian boys, they scare me.
They don't play around.
They scare me, bro. Yeah. They come in. They scare me. So yeah, it depends on the area. Like, as far as they're built, it could be the Dagestan, the mountain boys. The mountain boys are the Nigerians. They built a little different as far as exercise and so. It's just about the culture of the environment,
Interesting.
Yeah, that's it.
Interesting. Good work. Before we kind of start closing out stuff, I want to say thanks again for sharing the information, and it's been a great discussion, and I hope to to do this often and do it again because you don't know who you'd be changing. You know, I don't know if I'd ever change my religion. I think I've been so embedded and I really enjoy the culture that comes with my Peruvian side of my religion. Yeah. But I really enjoy being able to have a discussion like this and be able to speak on this type of stuff because I think there's a lot of good things we can take from the Islamic faith and push it into our society nowadays. What would be 3 things you would say from the Islamic faith that should be implemented in the United States culture? If you had to pick 3 or 5 or whatever, or a couple things.
Humility, peace, and discipline.
Okay. Expand on humility.
Humility. In Islam, you know, the ego is shunned upon so much, brother. Okay. Like the ego, that's shaitan, brother. That's the devil. Like you being egotistic. Like, what's
an example of like if you could talk about an example?
Meaning, like, we're not meant to be flashy. In Islam, men, we're not supposed to wear jewelry. We're not supposed to wear silk. We could wear like watches, but we're not supposed to wear gold. Being flashy is haram. That you're not supposed to be like out there like showing your stuff.
What about like the guys in the Middle East that had drive Lamborghinis and stuff like that?
Let me tell you something. Just because you're wearing a thobe don't mean you're practicing. Like, you know, it's like just because you of the culture of it, a culture where Islam is prevalent doesn't mean you're practicing the way it's supposed to be. Okay. You know, but every day I walk by millionaires and you wouldn't even know this guy owns a bunch of 50 gas stations, or he owns that downtown high rise in Miami. Or these men are so humble.
Nice.
It's the old guy, the old uncle with a long beard who looks like, respectfully, uncles. He looks like he's just dull clothing, like pretty much homeless sometimes. Yeah. This guy worth more half than everyone in your neighborhood. Yeah. So,
of course,
humility is a big thing. Going on to peace, man, I think that's been the most. I remember posting something about, you know, American media really owes Islam an apology. Because, man, these people, my brothers and sisters are so peaceful, man. Like, it's just love. It smiles everywhere I go, man. It smiles everywhere.
And you talked about. I don't mean to keep cutting you off, but I have these ideas and these things I wanted you to expand on. You talked about the respect from women you got from like when you walked into a house.
Yeah, brother. You know, my sisters, they're ready to make sure that I'm comfortable, that I'm full. They're telling me, they're trying to force feed me. They're setting the plate for me, the table for me. And I think they, not only the respect, but that sister realized that I would die for her honor. She realizes that. So she gives me that certain amount of respect.
And when you say peace, you mean peace in a relationship as well? Like no fighting?
No, I mean, obviously we're human beings. Yeah. There's definitely, you know, there's Islam, and never forget there's the human who accepts Islam. And with that human comes problems. So don't ever forget that. Don't be so naive to be like, oh, this is the perfect. I'm definitely not perfect. I'll never be perfect. Be real with you. I got a lot of things to work on. But yeah, man. Peace. It's just so much love and most peaceful people. And as far as the respect from our sisters, our sisters, you know, they respect men. Mm-hmm. They respect men. You know, and I'm just seeing that in the West. Now, imagine if we go back home to like an Islamic country, whether it's Nigeria or Afghanistan, Iran, Turkey, Morocco, or Dubai, wherever it may be. I don't know. Malaysia, Indonesia, wherever we go. Imagine the respect I may get from a woman there, because she knows that I would die for her.
Yeah, tenfold.
Yeah. So I said humility, peace, and discipline. Brother, I got to pray 5 times a day, brother. Mandatory. Brother.
How long are the prayers each time?
I say probably 10 to 15 minutes. It depends on the surah recitation. But as far as all God does for me, all he asks is for 5 times. At first in my head, I was like, 5 times. But as you do it and you embed it in your life, it's like, this is work. You realize all the idle things you do, like all the stupid things you do that you waste time on. Yeah, you could fill that in with prayer. The prayer. Facts. Mm-hmm. Facts.
100%. Or even just being silent. A lot of times people don't even.
Yeah.
You know, eventually, that social media scrolling.
For the amount of time you put on your phone, You definitely could get the prayer. There's no excuse. There's no excuse unless you're like sick or something. But yeah, man, that's it. Humility, peace, and discipline. Those are the three things I've seen throughout Islam.
Awesome, bro. Well, I enjoy it. I enjoyed it a lot. It's been a great podcast. Last thing before we talk and end this podcast, what's your favorite piece of food from the Islamic culture, or Muslim religion? Like when I say food, I mean what's your favorite Middle Eastern type of food? Middle
Eastern. Or maybe say it from the demographic part of it, as far as what group of people.
I'm ignorant when it comes to I say Middle Eastern food, it's just because it's classified like that in the US.
I know, I get it. I got a lot of ignorant things to work on myself, brother.
What's your favorite meal that you've eaten so far? Because the food is incredible. That's my favorite food, bro. Other than like Peruvian food, it's my favorite food.
That's a lot, bro. Maybe like lamb and yellow rice, like slow roasted lamb. Brother.
What's it called?
I don't know.
Fucking. The one where they cut it thin, right?
Yeah, that's
my favorite stuff, dude.
Yeah, man.
And the sauces are incredible.
Yeah, white sauce. Shout out to the white sauce.
Yeah. Anyways, guys, thank you guys for watching this podcast. Make sure to go check out Ameer. What's your new handle?
No, same thing. Ameer Danglebeen. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
As far as content, I'm just, man, I'm taking it slow in my life. I just focusing on being a good human being. Inshallah, getting a wife and having 5 to 10 kids. Inshallah.
But without time, sooner or later, I know he'll be back doing his stuff. Maybe spreading the good word.
We'll see.
Yeah, I think you should, bro. That'd be great.
I got a lot of evolution to come across. Yeah.
But as always, guys, it's been a pleasure, Ameer. It's always a pleasure. Thank you guys for watching this podcast. We'll catch you guys later. All right, bro. Thank you. That was awesome.
Hey, guys. Thank you guys for checking out this video. Make sure to go check out all of our other podcasts, Buffalo Barbecues, our Buffalo Workouts, and also a slew of other things, including challenges and whatnot. So make sure to check out all of these different things. Thank you guys for watching. I am Old School Matt here, and this is Water Buffalo TM. Peace.